There we go. All right, I've got the chat in old person large font mode. We'll see if I can see it. Can you guys hear the voice? How's the audio? I hope it's all right. All the usual suspects are here. Video and audio. Great. How about some synths? So we'll do a little sound check. So that's the sub coming through, sub 37. My voice should duck it, so you can hear the synth, but still hear my voice, hopefully, clearly. Rich, you're the gold standard there. A little matriarch. And when I talk over it, again, it should be ducking. Hope it's working. And since this is a Berlin School prog rock stream of sorts, let's bring in maybe a touch more voice. That's going to be tricky. I can bring everything else down right now. Sounds great. All right. Garen, maybe you're the deaf one. We'll see how it goes. Take notes. Said, give me any feedback. All right, so there's our ARP. Move the mic a little closer to your mouth. How's that? Testing 1, 2. Checking the sound and the ducking. And once everything's playing, it should pull it all down. Hey, Ben. We got the whole Discord server here. All right, thanks, Karen. Yeah, the mic will tilt away, and I'll have to adjust it. There we go. Yeah, the whole Discord server's here. Nice. Thanks, guys. All right, so a little background on what's going on. Wanted to get back into Modular. Dear God, you guys know this story, right? And so what we're doing today is we are going to follow my own sort of concise instructions for Berlin School. All right, so we're going to set up some simple repeating figures. We're going to play a few melodies on top of that. High melodies, bass melodies. Got bass here. And we'll move some stuff around, change, sort of evolve the little simple patterns as we go forward, and just make some noise till I get bored and we run out of time or something like that. All right. So here's our first pattern running. Let's bring in a second one. Panning effect? The panning effect on what? On the matriarch? It's a stereo synth. There is some delay that is ping-ponging, but not all of it. Go get tea, Rich. It's okay. Yeah, the Starfield thing in the background is like this cheap Amazon like Galaxy Nebula projector for the ceiling. It's just aimed at the curtain. All right, so let's pull one of these patterns out for a second. And let's make a variation here. So this sequencer has 8 stages. Only 3 stages are playing, right? Those 3 notes. Did I leave space for the Bubba cam? No, I only have 1 camera right now. And that's it. So let's add 1 stage to this sequence, right? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. We're going to go to 4. We'll bring in that other pattern again. Is asleep on the couch in the living room. He may make an appearance when he gets hungry. You'll hear him crying. Mike will pick it up. Let's add a little bit more to one of these patterns. Make sure I'm editing the right pattern. The Bubba cam. So our dog is named Bubba, right? He's a little Bichon. And a Bubba, in the South at least, where my wife is from, is a large, relatively dumb, but kind and harmless man, is a Bubba. So the dog is not large, but he's definitely a Bubba. Let's change this first pattern a little bit more. And let's bring in some low end. Some popping. Are you guys picking that up? All right. chopping going on. It comes and goes. I'm not sure where it's coming from. Probably beta software or something in here. We'll figure it out. The rack is resting on top of 2 laptop stands. Well, it's very stable. When people started pointing that out and it was sort of unnerving them, I actually repositioned it so it looks more unstable. It might be clipping, Ben, but all the meters are well in the green. I'm anal about everything's like -12 on the meter. So I don't know. It's probably the beta of Ableton. Patterns up a bit more. Substitute another pattern now. Squire. Yeah, I'm liking the Rick. the mic. All right, let's do something with this bass. See if we can drive the emotion up a bit. That's enough of that for now. Bring it on down a bit. I'll try and catch up on the chat. Let's change this pattern up just a little bit. Remember, repetition legitimizes. If you fuck something up, play it again wrong. Sorry guys, what? Am I ticking the knobs? Yeah, ticking. I'll go tick some knobs. I'm ticking the sequencer parameters. Let's add some ratchets. And let's make those ratchets change their pitch. Is where synthesizers are concerned, she understands the needs of the hobby. Tell you, the best thing about this whole rig is the sustain pedal, because the bass just keeps playing itself when I've got my foot held down. Stomp. Now that bass guitar will fade away, and there's a Moog Minotaur underneath it that's sort of maintaining the sub. we'll take out. Blue notes. Nice spelling. I always thought blue notes were the color. You have just changed. That's a paradigm shift for me. Let's see. Does the push trigger two instruments then? The snappy bass and the long sustained one as well? Yeah, it's a layer. It's like a Taurus and a Rickenbacker. Right, and they're an octave apart. And I've got a bunch of controls where I can flip between different snapshots. So I've got like a tripped out, distorted bass without the sub, and then a clean one with and without delay. It's all just sort of macros. Hey, Davy. Davy. I don't know how it's actually pronounced. I always just type it. mic level a bit. I think I need to bring everything else down is what I need to do. Because over the course of the stream, it goes up and up and up. Hey, Red Wax. How's that? Is it ducking? It should be ducking everything down so you can hear the mic above it. Let me know. This is the first time, and this is a really hard thing to get right, is how to duck appropriately. Because if the mic sensitivity is too high, my breathing makes it duck, right? So, I'm a mouth breather. The sound of the wind rustling through my mustache basically is enough whistling to set off the compressor that's doing the ducking. So, and getting that threshold exactly right is tricky, and it's an art that I suck at. Like, this is the first time I tried to do it publicly. So it'll take some time, but let me know if it's not loud enough. I'll turn the mic gain up, but what'll happen is my breathing will start ducking the music. So 6 of one, half a dozen of another. All right. So this was definitely aimed to be a stream about Berlin School and Prog a little bit. So all of the patterns are, let's talk about the gear for a minute. If you came looking for just a performance, I'm sorry, you'll have to go to Bandcamp and listen to my music there because I'm a talker, right? So what we're doing here is using simple figures, small repeating patterns across the modular. Right, so there's 2 main sequencers running, 2 Metropolics here. Each one has 2 voices. So if we pull them out, we'll do a quick demonstration. So there's voice 1. All right, we'll simplify this pattern. All right, Berlin School bed, 8th notes. Dotted 8th note delay. It's the ducka-ducka-duckas. I will not do the dance. All right. We take that pattern. We're in A minor, so it's constrained. It's only playing notes out of A minor. And I'll bring in another pattern. We simplify it first. And here is another voice. This is a voice coming off the other Metropolics running there. Again, it's just using 3 stages of an 8-stage sequencer. All right, very simple. It's in A minor, and we're going to layer those on top of each other. And it's got assloads of reverb on it because that's the style I work in. Some Berlin School doesn't have assloads of reverb, but most of it does. Some Berlin School doesn't use any synthesizers if you go back far enough. All right, so once you've got this bed running, you play melodies over it. I'm using A minor, which, to simplify things, it's just white keys on the piano, starting with A. So, if you're not a keyboard player, it's a little safe. There are no wrong notes. Some notes are more dissonant than others, but you can get away with it. I thought about that, Gary, and I wondered what the plural of Metropolics would be. So you could play melodies on top of those beds, right? Or you could play bass melodies, right? Bass doesn't have to be just roots all the time. I like bass melodies. Synth what that is, Redwalks. I'm sorry. Oh, the Pro Synth Network. I have seen that. I don't watch it, but I've seen it appear in my feed. Some of the synth streams where it's like discussion and stuff between like talking heads. Those are so long I can't commit to watching them. Andy's Synchrotron is the only stream that I really religiously try and watch that is extended, and it's because it comes on at 5 a.m. my time, so I literally wake up, grab my earbuds and my phone, and my wife's like snoring next to me, and I'm listening to Andy and all of some of you, right? Tracy, are you ganging two bass synths on your bass key? Yes, I am. It's actually, so the bass is, I did a video, it's on the channel if you search for it, Rickenbacker bass. This bass sound is a single instance of Omnisphere using two of its layers, one playing a Rick bass and another playing a Minotaur. And then there's a bunch of processing, and I do some dual processing, like, so there was a guy in the 80s. Guy in the 80s named Billy Sheehan. He's still around. He's a great bass player. He was a studio musician who went on to be in a bunch of bands, high profile stuff. Great bass player. And I was playing bass in the 80s. And what I did here is I literally remember an article in Bass Player magazine from like 85 or something like that, where he described his amplifier setup, and he runs a bass where he splits the signal and does a clean signal and a distorted signal, and that's basically what I'm doing here. The Rick sound is got a clean and a distorted path, and then there's a sub underneath it that's like a Taurus. So no, actually, the Metropolis is, so what's in the modular? So this Metropolis is driving two voices. Each of them are braids, mutable instruments braids. And these are actually braids clones from a maker local to where I live called Tall Dog Electronics. This guy, Dan, really nice guy, really good maker. Extremely good quality stuff here. So I really like these Tall Dogs braids. And I really like braids because I hate having to tune my oscillators. I hate it when they drift. Braids have an internal quantizer, they're digital, and they stay in frickin' tune. It makes me happy. I turn everything off, I come back, I turn it on, they're in tune. Okay. I don't have to, at least they're in tune as much as the analog synths are, right? So I usually end up having to retune these when they drift to the braids. Okay. So that Metropolis is driving two of those. And this Metropolis is driving to beehives, which are clones of Mutable Instruments Plats. Again, same reason I like digital oscillators that don't drift out of tune unless I tell them to, right? I don't mind drift, I like analog, but I want things to stay in tune until I tell them not to. So, and I actually, beehives are clones of Plats. These ones are from Michigan Synthworks, and the build quality is really good on one of them, and the other one, it's got a few glitches, not glitches, it's a couple of the pots are not mounted perfectly. But it's still good quality. And I'm pretty happy with them, but I may swap them out for braids, because braids, I prefer them, right? And then I've got a few other oscillators in here that I'm not using today. And I've got the stochastic inspiration generator that I have not even tried yet. I've been warning the Metropolix, and there was an opportunity to get one of these, and so I went for it, but I haven't used it yet. I'm going to end up using this to do like beds, like pads, not so much plucks as like high, black hole, like thick beds, sustain chords, sus chords, things like that. And then sort of get into what will it do from the stochastic nature, right? I like randomness, but I like controlled randomness. I don't like pure random. And I like to be able to capture some randomness and then loop it forever to sort of legitimize it. And this sequencer does that. So it generates random passages based on the parameters you set for, pitch, duration, and rhythm. But then you capture it. It captures an 18 note sequence, not 18 pulses, but 18 note events. And then you can constrain that to a particular pattern that you like. And then you say loop that. We'll see what happens in the future. So that may be more information than you wanted, but this is any future streams you watch with me. If you watch me for January, they're pretty nerdy. Euclidean can be for, you can use it to derive pitches as well, pitch patterns. We are spoiled. It is the best time to be making music. I say that every year, though. Every year is better than the last year. Although, I lament the passing of Moog. But maybe it'll be awesome. Maybe getting purchased will make them, hire people and innovate more. Maybe. So let's go back to these patterns that are playing. So if we pull this down, we're going to remove one of those patterns. So here's our first real simple pattern. Of the 8 stages of Metropolix, it's only using the first 3. So I'm going to tell it to use more than 3. That's 4, right? New cadence. That's 5. Here's 6. Now, it's using 6 stages, but it's also constraining. In each stage, there's a certain number of pulses. It's 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. All right. So it's playing 2 pulses at each of these 6 stages, wrapping around to the beginning and playing 2 more stages worth to come up to a total of 16 pulses, because I've told it keep looping through the stages until you hit 16 pulses and then start over, reset basically. So let's up it to 32. All right, and now we're getting 2 passes through the stages. And I've got on stage number 6 here an accumulator. An accumulator is sort of like a bucket that's holding the pitch in it. And every time you go around and loop back onto it, you can add or subtract pitches by scale degrees. Right? That's the accumulator bumping the pitch up and up and up. So Metropolix is really deep and really powerful. It's my current favorite sequencer. There we go. Let's bring the other pattern back in. lot of faces I haven't met yet. Wrench posting. I'm not going to scroll back and say hello to everyone. Andy, Synchrotron's really good about that, and he learns everybody by their first name. My memory's terrible. So know that I'm happy you're here. Make mistakes. I think some of the Golden Shrimp Guild has arrived. Okay. Thanks, Andy. Now, one other explanation, one thing everyone should know. So there's a clock across all these sequencers, right? And the clock is currently being generated by this tiny little module here called the ML2. It's generating clock and reset. This thing is cool because it connects to the Wi-Fi network and sends Ableton Link protocol signals across the network. So I'm using Ableton to drive the bass, to basically host the bass sounds. But Ableton's clock is following the modular. It's awesome. It's just awesome. So if I change the tempo here, Ableton will follow it. If I change it in Ableton, the modular will follow it. It's freaking awesome. Because it allows me to do things like live looping synchronized to the modular with like no effort at all. Let's see if I could try something here. See if I can get this to work. My pattern's actually off by one. That'll just keep looping as long as I like, and then I can go play something else. Yeah. Phrase level, that's what the Ableton Link thing does, though. It sends a reset on the downbeat and it's configurable, so it's doing it on every 4 bars. It's not perfect, but it definitely works. Pattern. I don't want that. All right. I need to check and see how long we've been going. I think I'm going to start winding it down. I hadn't intended to go this long. Oh, Freebeat's in here too. The Freebeat gang? Nice guys. It's not a secret. It was a secret. It was unsure, but I'm working on a prog rock track. And someone in the Freebeat community who is a drummer I hired to be the drummer for that track. And it's turning out really awesome. So. All right, let's start bringing it out. Wait, there are other communities. Yeah. And that's that. So let's see. What have I missed here? Let's see. You can hush now. Thank you. All right, let's see. So thanks, man. Eric Persing does awesome patches for Atmosphere. Yeah. So I'm an Eric Persing fanboy because the first like serious flagship synth I ever laid my hands on was a Roland D50, and that was his baby. And I know it's kind of cliched now, and you can get the D50 stuff like in the cloud and everywhere. But I followed him basically wherever he went. I bought the synths that he made sounds for. And then when the Omnisphere came out, like, 10 years ago, I'm like, I'm in. And then since then, every expansion, I got them all. Because even though he still is doing designing, his hands on the selection of designers works well for me. Omnisphere is not serum. It is not a virus. It's, and some people say it's a glorified sampler. I disagree. It's a full synth. You can get in there and, any more than saying using single cycle waveforms is sampling. I've got a third wave over there that basically is, every wavetable's a collection of single cycle waveforms, and I have no issues with that. So Omnisphere is a great tool if you're looking for a VST that does a lot. I recommend it. Not a shell. No kickbacks. Anyway, let's see. Cool. All right. Well, everyone, thanks very much for hanging out. I really appreciate that you were here. This was a big experiment. I've done a few streams in the past that were like purely performance, go to a venue, perform there, and they streamed it. And I've done a few experiments, but this is fun. So I may stream for January. The trick is there's no good time slot. So if I was going to stream every day for all of January, I got a day job, right? I got to work. So I don't know what's going to happen there. It may be that weekends are streams in January, and during the week it's just videos recorded. So I don't know. We'll see. Let's see. Thank you, everyone. Nice. I had a blast. So now the trick is the next one I do, I got to do something different. All right. So got to change the sounds. We'll figure that out. We'll change the key. The bass is going to stay. There's going to be a bass in this. Bass will be here in every performance for January, because I'm really leaning into January. For me, is going to be classic Berlin School as a source material, and then Prog shoehorned into it. Right. So that's where I'm going. So thanks, everyone. And I'm going to close us out here. I will talk to you all later, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, no shilling. All right. I'm out. See ya.